Christine and Tim.
Christine, Sofran, Nitin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. So I am back with another one. So my name is Christine and Tim. I am your host for the weekly Webinar Wednesdays, where I come live each and every week for 30 minutes or less to share insights and strategies to help you scale your business and personal brand online. And I always have said this before, I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people if you are here because you are tired of outdated, just boring advice that doesn't really work anymore on how to actually build a profitable business that makes an impact and a personal brand that leaves a mark, then you are in the right place. I promise you. So give me a shout out where you're coming in from and the intention you have for today. Why did you decide to join? Because people post on social media for different reasons. So we'll love to hear why you were excited to be here. Now, the reasons for my webinar sessions where I come in live every single week to add value to you and your endeavors when it comes to your business and your personal brand online is because I myself have been through the journey and I want to share those insights with you. As a 3-time founder, I have had the immense privilege of building multiple companies on a global scale and growing my personal brand in ways that I've never knew was possible. And I've been truly blessed in my career of being featured on almost every major media outlet, being able to work with some of the biggest corporate Fortune 500 brands, the leading governments around the world, to be able to come here and share with you all the secrets and strategies behind the journey. So that way you could do the same, if not accelerate even faster. Okay. So today we're going to dive into a conversation around social media. How to do less with your social media strategy because you want to post less, convert more, and build a 6-figure personal brand in 2025. Comment personal brand if that's why you're here, because I've had this conversation before where I think many of us are clear on the fact that a lot of the strategies that used to work before are not working anymore. Okay. And you need to really embrace the fact that you need to try something different at this point, right? We all know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. I don't think any member of my community, whether they're online, within my newsletter community, DM community, webinar community, are crazy people. We're all very ambitious, driven, impact-led, purpose-driven individuals, and we want to make sure that we are leveraging our time to be intentional, to be purposeful, and to be actually productive, right? And so I am someone who always say that I do not like posting on social media. I really don't. If it wasn't for my business, I probably wouldn't even have a social media presence, to be honest. But it is such a, global highway of potential clients, partners, and stakeholders. It's not something that you can completely remove yourself from, but you want to be able to leverage it strategically, because it is not only the information highway for my business entrepreneurs on the call, it is literally your lead generation highway. I mean, the majority of the world is on it, so you might as well leverage it to your advantage. Okay. So, first and foremost, for a lot of people, a lot of you feel like, hey, like, look, if this is you, tell me if this is you on the call. Okay. You're posting consistently. Maybe you're showing up daily with a live or video or post. You're following all the quote own rules, right? You're doing what people have told you. This is what you need to do 3 times a day. On LinkedIn, do this. On Instagram, do this. You're following all the content gurus. And for some reason, you're not getting the traction that you expected to get. So, for example, you're being consistent with content, but it's not converting to client sales or real growth. You feel stuck. You're starting to get frustrated, right? Because you're doing all the things, but you don't see anything manifesting. And I will tell you, it's not your effort, it's your strategy, okay? Because with 2025, in an era where people are already overwhelmed and tired of seeing all the white noise and all the content information that's already on the internet, let alone social media, posting more is not the answer, okay? So what I want to introduce you to is my signature conviction clarity conversion formula, where I have shared with countless of entrepreneurs how to simplify their social media strategy and do less. And let me tell you, one thing I will add is I'm not someone who's big on having a huge follower base. Like, you could have less than 1,000 people and be generating more revenue and more money than someone who have millions. I think this is a statistic and an understanding that people kind of know now, because there are many media influencers who have millions of followers who are not able to convert them and financially monetize that audience at all. Okay. So with that said, I have about close to 40 something thousand followers on LinkedIn. And I will tell you, it doesn't matter. Even when I was, I had like less than 2,000 followers on LinkedIn, I was still able to get my point across, to leverage social media to convert and do what I needed to do without posting every day and do the most every single hour of the day. Okay. So this formula is 3 parts. If you want to start to do less, but gain more, you have to strategically make certain decisions to make it easier for people to interact with you on social media in a way that's tangible and predictable. Okay. So first thing is, the biggest thing I will say that people don't realize is that you have not given people clarity as to why they need to engage with you or work with you. People now need to know exactly why they should be following you, engaging with you, talking to you, seeing your content. Because just posting for the sake of influencer's sake doesn't work anymore. Why should I follow you? Okay. So you have to get to certain points of clarity before the public can get to certain points of clarity. Because if you're not clear yourself, then how can the audience that's watching know that you are the right fit for them? So I will tell you right now, I speak to thousands of entrepreneurs every year, because as the CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem, we run an annual digital startup accelerator program where we accelerate 1,000 companies every single year, our flagship program for years now. And we run tech summits around the world. So I'm interacting with thousands of entrepreneurs every single week. Okay. And one thing that I will tell you, whether it's through my lives, whether it's through my platform or my organization at GSC, is that when I ask someone, who do you actually speak to? They don't have an answer for me. They don't have a clarity of target. Well, almost anyone can use my product. No. And there's a saying that if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? So the first thing I would say is have clarity of your target audience. Now, this might seem obvious. Everyone always talk about your niche, your audience, but let me break this down simply. Do you have a clear statement where you could say, I want to speak to specifically female entrepreneurs between the age of 18 and 35, because that's who I represent. And what I tell them, for them to know that I'm of value and of service to them, is not that I'm the CEO of the Global Startup Ecosystem. That's just a title. what I tell them is that I help entrepreneurs, particularly women entrepreneurs, scale their businesses and personal brands online. Are these two things that matter to you? And they probably say yes. So the first thing is clarity of target by telling people what your target is and updating your title. I talk about this all the time and I want to reiterate it, which is a crafted one sentence that instantly communicates who you serve, what you offer, and why it matters. Okay. And this is where you will essentially leap into a conviction where you want to own the identity of not your title, but the identity of service to that community. So I'm very, very, for example, I'm the founder of Haiti Tech Summit, and my entire mission with that platform is to accelerate Haiti into the digital age by leveraging technology to build a different narrative around the country. So I embody that in so many different ways that people, when they meet me, like, no wonder you are the founder of Haiti Tech Summit. You are convicted into this mission. Okay. So what happens is I'm not stuck on the title and prestige of being the founder of Haiti Tech Summit. I embody the pillars of service and commitment and passion to the mission of Haiti Tech Summit. I'm giving you an example, right? So what happens is when you don't commit to your titles that are rented, by the way, you're not going to be the CEO of this organization forever. You're not going to be the VP of this corporate institution forever. You are committed to a time frame in your life when you want to be of service to a certain target market, because it's not about selling to them. It's about servicing them with a need that you believe that you could do better than someone else. Is that clear? Okay. So with that said, what happens is that you should be able to articulate to them why they need you in one sentence. So that's clear. Clarity of target. Okay. Comment for me on the chat. Who is your target market right now? I would love to see some comments on that, where who you want to serve and why you want to serve them. Just answer that in one sentence. And if you don't know, start brainstorming. Who do you want to serve? I'll say it this way, if you know you can never fail, and then you want to figure out who you want to work with right now in this time period in your life that will make you happy and excited and fulfilled. Again, you're not chasing a trend, you're not chasing a target market. Like, I just want to work with corporate clients. Like, who do you actually want to work with if you knew you wouldn't fail? That's the who. What do you believe that you're good at that no one else could tell you that you're not? That you just feel proud of, that you could give service, that it wouldn't feel like work to offer that to people. I could talk about personal branding and business strategy all day. So that's my what, right? And why? Why did you pick this out of all the different things that you're good at that you could communicate and add value to? Why did you pick this as the mission that you want to provide to that audience? Is it something personal that happened to you that you've overcome and you want to replicate that success for others? Is it because you feel that there's a gap in the market and you're tired of seeing it, right? Why? So clarity of target. The second thing is clarity of offer. I can't stress this enough. You can't make money with your personal brand if you don't have an offer. And it's funny, as entrepreneurs, we know how to create a product or service for our business. We don't know how to package our value and expertise and experiences into a packaged product to do the same. So monetization, the path to profitability, starts with having an offer or product solution for your target audience. So for example, for me, I have multiple products. Consulting sessions with me one-on-one. That is a monetizable product. You might not think that's not a product, but it is a product because I'm charging for people to consult with me for 1 hour or less. That's a product. I have a coaching program where I go live once or twice a year, where I coach a group of entrepreneurs on how to build and scale their speaker brand or their personal brands online, right? And I charge in the thousands for that service. That's a product. I have quick mini courses that give people an immediate win on how to build and scale their personal brand with their first digital product, right? That's another product of my expertise. I crystallize it into a package, right? I can go on and on and on. You don't need to have multiple. You just need to have one that you want to be known for in the market. I usually tell people, and I have a whole program on this called the Personal Brand in the Personal Brand Launch Academy, where I talk about your gateway offer, right? That should be the first thing that people see online when it comes to you monetizing your brand. So create an offer. This is something you could do within a week. Think of a topic, record yourself communicating value with that topic, in 1 hour or less, and then put it out there. Okay. So clarity of offer is the second one. And the third thing is clarity of engagement. Let me be frank. A lot of you are using social media as a bulletin board where you're just posting updates and information and random nonsense, right? You got to leverage social media for what it is, a social platform. Give people a reason to engage with you, but providing first off a roadmap of how to work with you. I call it the How to Work With Me guide. I have that across all my social media channels. One shape or form in my feature section or pinned up section, I put how people can work with me. So it's easy and simple to follow. And that creates a lot of lead generation flow. Okay. So those are the three things that you need to have right now, that when people come to your page, you don't need to post as much, because when people immediately go to your page, you have a clarity of target, so they know they're the right person to just scroll more once they see your title is a value statement. You have something to offer them, whether it's an entry offer for free for them to convert, or whether it's like a immediate consultant session or a product that they can leverage, something that can provide a solution to their problem. And three, a clarity of engagement. Why are you posting on social media? Tell people is because this is how you can work with me in some capacity. Okay. Now, once we get that clarity, I want to mention three quick things about now how you post on social media. Now that we clarified how to show up on social media with your profile, let's talk about how to post on social media, where you don't have to post every single day. It's really what you post about and how you go about your schedule that makes people anticipate wanting to engage with you. Okay. First thing to know, and this is a huge one, and this is something that if you truly understand what I'm about to share with you, because I talk about this in depth in the Personal Brand Launch Academy program, where I talk about how to create content that serves and not content that sells. Let me repeat that again. We are moving away from the era of a content generation period where people were creating content to sell. Now you need to create content to serve your audience, okay? And what I mean by that is that information content is dead, okay? Gone are the days where you're going to put 7 tips to build your personal brand in 30 days or less, or 100 different ways to build your business in the digital space. Like, these worn out titles no longer work. ChatGPT have taken over. People could generate that in like 2 hours, like a whole year's worth of content in like 2 hours. Okay. So information content is that. What's in is diagnostic content. And repeat that again. What's in is diagnostic content. For my entrepreneurs who are listening to this, you understand the difference of what I'm about to share is going to radically change how you post on social media, and you're never going to be the same again. Okay. Information content is that. Diagnostic content is in. And what I mean about this, let me give you a perfect example. So instead of putting how to build your brand in 30 days, information content, where you're just going to give information that someone can find anywhere on the internet, you're going to say instead why your personal brand is not converting when you actually post 3 times a day. Boom. That's the type of thing we'll stop scrolling, because it's like, wow, you're actually immediately saying, I know what you're doing right now. It's not working. And here's why. You see the difference? One is actually like, I got something that's going to serve you immediately with a solution, versus I got something that's going to tell you surface level what you should be doing. It's completely radical shift in communication strategy. And what happens is when you post like that several times a week, you don't need to be posting every single day the how-to strategies. Instead, you're posting once or twice a week where people are still going back to your content because it serves them again and again and again, because you're posting the right way on diagnostic content versus information content. That's the first thing I want to share with you that you should keep in mind when posting on social media. It will change the frequency that's required to be valuable on your pages. The second thing to note is don't post more because you think the frequency is going to make you more visible. It actually becomes more annoying. You turn into white noise and people have had enough of it. You need to post with a schedule that creates anticipation for your value. I tell people I treat social media like my TV channel. Why should someone tune in to your channel? You can't tell me that you don't follow the pages that you know what to expect. Even if they're mediocre compared to ones that, let's say this, you're a brand that gives crazy great value, but you're so sporadic that your brand reputation tanks because of it. But someone who's consistent, even if it's surface level, they're going to get more traction. Have you noticed that? Because they turn their social media into a TV channel. So I'm going to give myself as an example. I have a posting schedule based on how I show up online. Tuesdays when I share my weekly newsletter, okay, both privately and externally on LinkedIn. Wednesday, you're experiencing it right now. Every Wednesday, I have my webinar Wednesday, okay? Thursdays, I do Ask Me Anything sessions with specific entrepreneurs who are trying to build and scale their personal brands. And on Mondays and Fridays, I usually center around announcements of events I'm doing, programs I'm launching, campaigns I'm doing, or maybe a quick cute post about something with me, my kids, or my business, whatever, right? But the point is that people got to tune in calendar schedule. If you notice, I'm not talking about posting 3 reels a day, 3 videos a day. No, I'm literally just posting when I show up for my community. Okay. And if you think about it, my newsletter doesn't take more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes for me to glance through it to make sure it's okay. My Wednesdays are 30 minutes or less. My Ask Me Anything sessions are also 30 minutes or less. So in a week, I'm really serving my audience with less than 2 hours of real work for a business that's generating multiple figures, right? So, and this is not even my business. This is my personal brand, by the way, right? So about 2 hours a week, I'm engaging with my community and driving revenue purely just through my personal brand. Okay. So it's not about posting more. It's about posting on schedule, not content, because I told you content is dead, but posting engaging solutions that really helps people advance themselves through your voice, through your energy, through your experiences. Okay. Last thing to know is that, let's be frank here. Almost everyone now anticipate that everyone on the internet is trying to sell them something after giving value. I deal with this again. I always tell people we are paying the price for all the different bad actors that operate on the internet. So don't come on, hey, I'm here to give value. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, just stop with the bullshit. Just tell people, like, look, I'm coming in to do a live for 30 minutes. This is what I'm doing. I do this every week. But if you want to join me for our program at the end of the session, or just tell them blatant that you're going to invite them to something that is a paid medium, because you are a business entrepreneur, you should be monetizing your solution, because your solution is a service to support someone through some type of journey where they're stuck, right? And they're paying premium to be able to have access to that. Tell them, right? Stop pretending that you're not, that you're doing this for the just goodwill of your heart. Now, obviously, do content that serves your audience and serves your heart as well, right? At the end of the day, I wouldn't be doing webinar Wednesdays if I didn't like talking about business and personal branding. Just wouldn't happen, right? But I make it clear my expectations that I have products and services to take you to the next level after serving you with something that might break your perception. Because a lot of times, and I'll be frank with you, a lot of the content that I serve is one, to either inspire, inform, but more importantly, to break initial barriers that people once have to get them ready for the service that they need to serve them, right? I feel like a lot of people just sell people directly, but they're not ready to be sold to because they're not ready for that solution. They don't even know that they needed the solution, right? They need to know why they have the problem in the first place. If you could bring clarity and alignment to the person to know why they have the problem in the first place, then they can make a decision as to whether they should choose your solution. It may not be you, but at least you gave them the benefit of service of giving them something to break the barrier that they had coming in with the problem. But the point is, of this third point that I'm trying to make is make it clear what your expectations are, so that way the audience doesn't have to feel on edge in hearing or seeing your posts on social media. Because right now people are skeptical of everything. Okay, be honest and clear and direct, and you'll find that people want to work with you a lot more and engage with you on social media because you're to the point. Okay. So with that said, you might be wondering, okay, going back to this formula, got the clarification. I see how important it is. How do I actually do this? Going back to the clarity of target, I already said this already. One sentence, who you serve, what you do, and why you offer it. This is called a value statement. And the immediate action step you're going to take at the end of this call is update your title, remove the title on your LinkedIn page, and just put who you serve, what you do, and why in one sentence. Mine is helping entrepreneurs to scale their businesses and personal brands online. Okay. And have a call to action, right? It could be the call to action, sign up for your newsletter, sign up for a free masterclass training. You have to have something that if you say you serve this audience, what do you do to serve this audience as a gateway? This is probably the biggest thing that I get from people. People say like, oh, I do consulting, but before someone pays for a service to work with you, show me where you've created credibility for the person to say like, yeah, you're the right person to work with or engage with. So clarity of target, clarity of offer, have at least one entry product. Now, to be very specific, in my personal brand launch academy program, we talk specifically about how to create offers and a product suite with your personal brand that's easy to manage, easy to bring to market, and easy for you to make your first sale within 30 days or less because it's valuable, it's clear and concrete. What I will tell you in the interest of time for this webinar is that usually an entry paid product is something that people could really just jump in on as quickly as possible to be able to engage your brand. Now, I do suggest having a free entry product just to get people onto your email list, But once they go through something valuable with you, do have something that takes them to get an easy win. And don't let the price reflect your value. I am notoriously known for over delivering value and it not correlating with the price because I'm someone I want people to know, it's my reputation, that I'll always give you 10x what you paid. Because I've been through so many things in my life and my career that has frustrated me that I don't want it to be a disappointment to others when it comes to value and learning and personal development growth. So, for example, that entry product can be anywhere from $7 to as high as $97 or $4.97, depending on your market that you want to serve, right? But the point is like have an entry product that people can immediately it's like a gateway, right? Where you can build trust with the person before the person can say, okay, let me sign up for a signature program to work with you for several weeks, which is like, let's say $2,500 or $5,000 or $10,000 because they have had an entry into working with you where you gave them an easy win, a quick win of value of service to them and their needs, okay? And of course, with clarity of engagement, I shared this already. I'm going to reiterate it again. Have a schedule of service to your audience. So for me, I always use myself as an example. I have my weekly webinars on Wednesday. I have my monthly workshops, intensives, and I have my quarterly multi-day bootcamp campaigns. You probably have seen me over the past couple of years. I have my paid get paid to speak bootcamp that I do to help people really get situated in the speaker industry, and I have my my personal brand reinvention challenge to help people build and scale and monetize their personal brands the right way. And of course, I have my annual retreat and conference where people come in live in person to get the behind the scenes look of how I build and scale my brand and my business. Okay. And then once you have the clarity of these three areas, your target, your offer, and your engagement conversations, it's such a simple thing to do right now within the next 24 hours to just create this on your profile. But what happens is now you're going to work backwards where any content that you post Monday to Friday, if you do post Monday to Friday outside of this, is very geared towards this schedule. So if you know that every month you're going to have a workshop on something that serves your audience, on a weekly basis, you're going to tease people with information that serves them that's going to be covered in depth in the workshop. So now you don't have a content breakdown because you already know what you're going to post out there. Okay. So I know in the interest of time, I covered a lot in the past half hour, but if you want more help with this, to be able to grow your personal brand and really continue to learn ways to really leverage social media and scale, because today I really share with you the secret of how to post on social media to give clarity with your profile, but not having to do too much and doing not so much a content schedule, but what I call a conversation schedule. How do you engage your audience in a way that's easy to do in 30 minutes or less throughout the week? I want to invite you to join me for the 7-day personal brand reinvention challenge. It's literally finally everything you need to know to learn how to build and grow a global 6-figure personal brand online, where I will flesh out in more depth how to actually do this and execute on this throughout your career. Okay, a very comprehensive program. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to add the link for you to be able to sign up for this 7-day reinvention challenge. You can level up your brand in the comments. So feel free to join here. It's free. It is literally going to blow your mind. If your mind was blown during this 30-minute webinar where I shared all these insights, you're definitely going to learn a lot from that opportunity where I'm going to go over how to actually execute on this in 7 days or less. Okay. So without further ado, thank you so much for joining me for this week's Webinar Wednesday. It truly was an honor to help you learn how to do less on social media so you post less, convert more, and of course, learn how to build a 6-figure personal brand in 2025 and beyond. So best of luck. You're going to see me, because you know my content schedule, next week, same time, same place, to support you on your journey of building and scaling your business and your personal brand online. See you next week. Bye-bye.
But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you.